See, there's crows and there's eagles and there's all sorts of birds that fly high in the sky. But yesterday I got a little confused. Oh, I'm sorry, we got caught mid-conversation. Good morning to you, everybody. It's another edition of the Carton Show. That's my main man right there, Mr. Cody Decker. Hi. And, of course, Green Bay Packer Hall of Famer and one time only, Super Bowl champion. Mr. Greg Jennings right there. Wow. Well, I mean, a lot of guys have won one. Talk to me when you win two. That's all I have to say. Anyhow, it's Wednesday, right? And that means we start the show off with a little something we like to call headlines. Last night was a great night. Hard Knocks training camp with the New York Jets streaming on Max. And I got to see all my guys, Sauce Gardner right there, and Garrett Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers, and even the awkwardly weird Liv Schreiber showed up on a Blade helicopter.
Hey, that's my gym partner, bro.
I loved every second of it. But the thing that's resonating with a lot of people right now is something that I have to call it the way I see it, boys. I've got to call it out when I see it. He's my golf partner. He's my buddy. But Robert Saleh committed an act of perjury last night on Hard Knocks.
I thought it was great.
An act of absolute perjury. And I can't stand for it. And I won't. Well, here's the deal. If you've ever gotten involved in motivational speaking at all, or read a book about motivational speaking in a van down by the river, you might have heard this story of the crow and the eagle.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
We've all had SkyMall on a plane and seen these sayings on rocks. But my man Robert Saleh last night, addressing the entire squad, referenced the dream he claimed that he had. I think we have it. Do we have it?
Oh.
I got to show it right now. I'm sorry, I got to show it right now because I love every minute of it, I also got to call it the way I see it. We need new material for the head coach of the New York Jets. Play it real quick. Go ahead.
Did you know that the only bird in the world that will attack an eagle is a crow?
Yep, I knew that.
It's a crow. That's the only bird that will actually have the balls to attack an eagle. It will perch on the eagle's back and peck at its neck.
What does the eagle do?
So rather than fight back and tearing a crow to pieces like it can, the eagle spreads its wings and it soars as high as it possibly can. It keeps going and going and going as high as it can. And the higher the eagle flies, the harder it is for the crow to breathe. Eventually, the crow suffocates, falls back down to earth, and dies.
Amazing.
That's what happens.
That's what happens.
Guys, we got a great deal of hype around us. We do. All kinds of expectations. And with great expectations, we know that there's going to be a whole lot of people, a whole lot of crows expecting us to fall on our face.
Now, listen, it's all great, right? It's Hard Knocks training camp with the New York Jets streaming on Max. We thank them for giving us the ability to air that. It's great. It's motivational. You want to get the guys all pumped up. There is a target on the Jets' backs because Aaron Rodgers is there, and there's going to be a lot of crows, a.k.a. the media, and fans who are negative if things don't go our way. So let's not pay attention to the crows, or I could just go to fearlessmotivation.com. And by the way, I am not BSing you.
No, you are not.
I'm on the website. So Robert Saleh says he had a dream about you guys, and the dream made him conjure up the image of the crow sitting on the back of the eagle. Please tell me you've heard this speech before.
I've definitely heard it before. I think the problem... the speech itself is great.
And he does a great job delivering it. I got it.
So if I'm sitting there, like, even watching, like, the fact that you didn't, like, know it and be able to recite it without peeking down at your screen or at your notes, it's like you didn't make it your own, like, until the end when you drew the parallel of your team and other teams and media and outside members that are not within that locker room and organization that are going to be chattering and hoping for the downfall. I have no problem with all of that.
Yeah.
But if I'm in there, I'm like, dude, I mean, can you give me a little bit of your own, like
talk
insert?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. To be fair, it's almost not Robert Saleh's fault. No disrespect. Football players aren't the smartest people on the planet.
Whoa, complete disrespect.
Excuse. I didn't say all of you. I said collectively, bunch of
You basically are saying all of us.
No,
when you say collectively.
Collectively, a bunch of dingbats. I mean, let's just say it the way it is. Like, you guys aren't winning Mensa member competitions, right? You play football. Good for you. You're great at playing football. All good. My point is this.
No. You're not just going to let you just say that and sweep us all under the same.
I apologize.
That's completely disrespectful.
Yeah, I didn't mean
when you
way.
have guys who are in those locker rooms that are there because they just love the game of football, but they are much more than just football players
I agree.
and jocks and all these things.
I didn't say you're not much more than that. I mean, not a lot, though. There's not a lot of brains in that locker room. Listen, my point is he recognizes what I'm saying, and he must feel like I got to talk to the guys using metaphors because if I just talk to you, you might not understand it. In any event, I think it's great. My favorite part, though, outside of the fact that I'm in it, is I'm in it 3 times.
I know your voice.
I'm in it 3. No, my face.
Yeah.
I'm in it 3 times.
Unavoidable.
All right? But here's the deal. On Hard Knocks last night, streaming on Max, they showed video, and I love this. I love this drill where quarterback drops back, and there's a net in front of him, 2 different colored nets, and the coach will yell, red, blue, and you have to hit it perfectly.
Yeah.
Watch this from last night. It's awesome. This is Aaron Rodgers and why he's so special. Orange, or red, whatever it is. I don't know. Bang.
Good job.
Blue. Here's blue. Bang. Red. Hit it in red. Come on. Bang.
That was sexy.
You tell me we're not going to the Super Bowl? Is that what you're trying to tell me? You're telling me we're not going to the Super Bowl?
Look, we're
going to the Super Bowl.
You can show that all day to me. That is just precision at its best. And I'm going to be honest with you. The guy very seldomly misses. Like I know they edit a lot, but I've been on that field with. He very seldomly misses when they call out a color.
It's great. All right, so much more on that throughout the show. Let me get to some other things. It's not just my favorite team. Dak Prescott had another Dak Prescott day. He threw 1 interception coming up right here. It's like he's throwing the ball to Trayvon Diggs. All right, that's the first one. But don't worry, good news, Cowboy fans. He was at it again. Here's pass number 2. And now watch what Trayvon does. Dion, give me to Dion. And here's pass number 3. Could have been picked by Trayvon again, but Vander says, I'll take that one. 3 interceptions. Let's go to the board. Pardon me one second.
Back over here.
Let's go to the board. Here we go. The Dak Prescott preseason interception board. Another 3. We are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 interceptions in the last 3 practices for Dak Prescott. You the man. Now, there's a story coming out of Dallas based on that practice, and we're going to effort all the audio for you later in the show. Jerry Jones was asked about how training camp's going.
Yeah.
He made a point of saying Cooper Rush is looking really good. Cooper Rush. I am not BSing you. It just got reported. It's making the rounds now. We will show you or play for you if we can get it by the end of the show, the exact quote. But he said number 10's looking strong. Yeah, by the way, number 10 last year, Cooper Rush, when he played the 5 games he played, Dallas Cowboy offense averaged 27 points a game and 355 yards a game. Now, they were 4-1 in those 5 games. They are now turning up the heat a little bit on Dak because, to be fair, he's playing like crap.
Yeah, and there was an article on Yahoo that came out. I forget the guy who wrote the article, but it talked about the timing and guys being on the same page and understanding the footwork and all the things. But if you watch those 3 interceptions, only one has to do with timing. This one has nothing to do with timing. Nope. This is all on Dak. It's just an underthrown ball.
Yep.
This is terrible. But when you watch this 3rd interception,
this is brutal.
He's staring down the receiver from the snap. Yeah. Look back. Please replay
Rewind
that.
it. Play it again.
That.
If you guys don't mind, if you guys can handle that.
From the snap, he is staring down his receiver. You can't do that in the National Football League.
Not just that, he's thrown into double coverage.
Yes.
He's staring the guy down. And if Van Der Esch doesn't pick it, Trayvon's going to pick it.
These are the same mistakes that we saw last year that he cannot go into this season having to commit. Like, this team is too good, and he has to be better if they have any chance of trying to surmount the Philadelphia Eagles.
And listen, the crazy thing is what you're saying. This isn't like he threw a great ball and it went through a receiver's hands, or a Sauce Gardner comes off his man and sneaks him and possums him and makes a great play, right?
Yes.
Like we saw down Rodgers a couple days ago. This is a quarterback that's not playing well. And I know it's preseason, it's not even a game. But if I'm the Cowboys offense, and if I'm CeeDee Lamb, and if I'm, whomever.
Mention CeeDee Lamb. Watch CeeDee Lamb's body language after this one.
Yeah.
He turns around, head goes down, like, here we go.
Yep.
Look at that. You can't have that.
Yeah.
If I may.
Please, go ahead. Do what you got to do.
This has been a problem since they decided not to extend or sign Amari Cooper for a long-term deal.
A year and a half ago, yep.
If you look at the numbers, here are the numbers. This is Dak Prescott with Amari Cooper and without
So he's played about half as many games.
Like half as many games. But you look at the touchdown and interceptions. Look at those interceptions.
Yeah.
And when you read that article, I encourage you all to just take a good little glance over it.
Yeah.
It talks about the timing. Amari Cooper was so disciplined in his route integrity and route discipline. What that means is, even if I beat you right away, I understand that either my quarterback isn't ready or I shouldn't go into that window to condense it right now. I kind of explained this yesterday a little bit on First Things First. But for me, this has a lot
good
more
stuff for them, I guess. Yeah.
No, I mean we
It's all good.
This could have been brought up when you were putting Dak Prescott in front of Daniel Jones. But I bet you won't do that today.
To be fair, I have to redo my list.
Oh, yes, you do.
All good. Make your point. I'm sorry.
But this has a lot to do with just Dak Prescott not really trusting his guys and they're not being on the same page. But more importantly, this is Dak making simple errors that you can't make at this stage in his career and at this stage in professional football at the quarterback position. Like, staring down a receiver is an absolute no-no. You just can't do it.
And he's not a rookie.
And he's not a
He's making $100 million, and he's supposed to be better than that.
And I know Jerry Jones wants to say, it's not in his DNA to throw interceptions, but this is becoming who he is.
This is interceptions. That's all he
He's
does.
bleeding interceptions.
And it's going to hurt his team.
I
like
told
it did
you
last year.
they gave him a 23andMe for Christmas, and it said that he was 40% interception. So that's what it is. Let's go to let's go. That joke never gets old, by the way.
Never.
Makes me laugh, and I'm the one that's saying it. Let's go to, by the way, Brandon Jacobs is here. He'll be here in a little bit.
Hey.
I only bring it up because he played for San Francisco. But that's Brock Purdy right there, and it is now official. He is officially quarterback one.
Let's go.
And that's not really all that interesting because I think we all knew that based on all the rhetoric coming out of San Francisco. But what is interesting is that they list both Sam Darnold and Trey Lance as quarterback number 2. And like I've been telling you for weeks now, people in the building do not value Trey Lance's kind of football acumen. No one disputes his arm talent, his athleticism. But according to people there, they don't understand why he hasn't picked up the offense or NFL football as quickly as they would have liked. So it would not be shocking if Trey Lance, the guy that they traded God knows how many first-round picks for, to be the emergency quarterback and be outplayed by the journeyman Sam Darnold.
Well, it's shocking because of them moving up in the draft, giving up 3 first-round picks.
He was going to be the next guy.
Being the guy. But when you think about Sam Darnold, like, he has experience. He's going to know what you're expecting of him. He understands defenses. He's been in several offenses now. So picking up offenses has been something that he's been accustomed to doing. So you automatically, it's kind of like Baker and Trask down in Tampa Bay.
Sure.
You automatically give the nod slightly to the veteran guy because of his exposure to the game. But Trey Lance has just simply not been given a tremendous amount of opportunities. When you look at all these other first-round draft picks that are quarterbacks, they've been given opportunities, and in this situation, it's just not worked out.
Now, to be fair, injuries are the real reason.
Of course.
But now the fact is he got the injuries, and some other kids showed out.
Yeah.
And when that happens, listen, it ain't that hard to go with the hot hand, right? which is why a guy like Jerry Jones in Dallas is talking about Cooper Rush, because there comes a point where I'm going to go with the guy that gives me the best chance to win right now. San Fran thinks that's Brock Purdy. Until he loses the job, and maybe he never does, he's going to be quarterback one. You had something to add?
No, I'm just thinking about Dak. I mean, that's not important.
Did I miss the memo that today was arm day here on the show?
You don't have any arms.
What?
You don't have arms.
That's why I
Plain
wear
and
long
simple.
sleeve shirts. That's right.
These old things.
That's why I invited Brandon Jacobs here. He's got bigger arms than both of you.
He does.
In any event,
He's a
let's
monster.
go quickly to fourth. That's a headline number 4. Eric Bieniemy's a tough guy. Current players are soft. But he did defend his coaching style. If you missed the story yesterday, a bunch of guys on the Commandos are going to Ron Rivera saying, Bieniemy's too tough on us. He yells at us a lot. We don't like to be yelled at. And someone reminded them they haven't made the playoffs in a decade, and maybe they need some tough love. So Eric Bieniemy yesterday at a press conference defended his coaching style. I think we've sound. I believe so. Let's hear it. Go ahead.
They also know when I'm getting on them, ain't nothing personal.
Right.
What's personal is that I want us to win. I expect that particular player to be great at all times. I expect the effort to be a standard that's accepted by all of us. So it's my job and my responsibility to make sure that I'm getting our guys to do what I expect them to do.
God, look at the smile at the end.
man.
By the way, I agree and love every single thing about that. It's not his job to be a babysitter. It's not his job to coddle you. It's not his job to blow smoke up your rear end. Now, I think your point yesterday is still a valuable one. You can, quote unquote, kind of beat guys down verbally, but there is a point where you do have to lift them back up and rebuild their confidence. But there ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, it's nothing wrong with that. I think my only problem with it would be if there is no nurturing, if there is no encouragement coming out of Eric Bieniemy's mouth to his players. I had a coach in college my last year who never complimented me, always found a way to critique anything that I did. But on game day, there was nothing that I could do wrong. Whether I dropped the ball, had a missed assignment, did something that could hurt the team, he knew how great of a player I was. He knew what I expected of myself.
Yeah.
And so he encouraged me on the most important day, in the most important moments. If Eric Bieniemy is doing that, I have absolutely no problem with it.
all.
But when you have a guy who just constantly takes that bat that we have right here on this desk and just beats you, and never decides to stop beating you, that's problematic.
Don't give our producers any ideas, all right? The bat's taped to the desk. I don't need them coming out here with the bat during breaks.
Guys, I've thought about it. I've thought about it for you guys.
Yeah, I do like the fact that you just referred to yourself as great. I love that part. I love that part of it. My coach knew how great I was. Probably shouldn't make those mistakes on game day then. Anyhow, we got a great show for you. As I said, the all-time touchdown leader in Giants history, Brandon Jacobs, is going to join us in a little bit. And we've got some updates in Kansas City regarding Chris Jones. The most important player on the Chiefs defense has spoken via social media. We'll see if we can figure out what he meant right after this on FS1.
Greetings, soccer fans. Are you ready for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup? Because we are. That's right. Australia and New Zealand, look out. State of the Union is coming.
Off the post and in!
And we'll be going above and beyond down under. We'll have new podcast episodes every single match day. So follow Alexi Lawless's State of the Union on the Fox app, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Chris Jones still not signed. Bang, that's another $50K that he's going to be fined for not showing up to a training camp. But he finally broke his silence. Kind of. KC ... I love you. But more importantly than that, I like his screen name. Stone Cold Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line.
Yeah, I guess he's going to be trying out for the remake of the Brian Bosworth movie Stone Cold 1.
Classic.
It was a classic movie. He's a biker gang. He's an undercover cop.
Yes, it's a classic.
Brilliant acting, by the way. Should have won an Oscar.
It wasn't.
But I think this is a good sign because this is Chris Jones saying, everybody, it ain't about Kansas City. I love you people. I love the city. I want to be a Chief. I just got to get paid according to my talent. And the Chiefs don't even deny that. So I think this is eventually going to have a very happy ending. The only question is, how much money is he costing himself to get the raise, right? Because there is a point where the raise isn't a raise if you have to pay the same amount in fines, right?
You're very true.
And those fines are real.
Yeah.
There used to be where the team could just forgive you of the fine. Not anymore. They take it from you. So right now, by our accounts, he's at $650,000 in fines. So now you got to get at least $1.3 million on top of that to make that number even when you consider taxes and agents, all that crap. So at what point does he say, boy, $50,000 a day is a lot of money?
Yeah, I'm
going to come back and play football.
I mean, I'm not sure at what point, but when you're banking on, like, docking what we all consider to be the second highest paid defensive tackle, because he's not going to get Aaron Donald money.
And he knows it, and he ain't asking for it.
Nope, but when you are going to get that close, you're willing to forego what appears, and I say this respectfully, because dollars and cents are dollars and cents. I don't care how much or how little, but you can overlook this $50,000 if you end up solidifying.
Well, look,
well over that in millions.
He's going to get, let's even say he gets, I don't know, 4 years, $120 million. That's $30 million a year for math majors out there. And let's say $80 million is guaranteed. I'm obviously making it up.
Yeah.
If you got $80 million guaranteed coming in, you might laugh at $500,000.
Yeah.
Now, it's still a lot of money. Still a down payment on a nice house. But $80 million guaranteed, I'll forget the $500,000 in fines pretty quickly, right?
A nice house. That is a house.
That's more than
I know,
a
a nice house.
Yeah.
A nice house.
You can get a very nice house for that amount of money.
A nice house. Like with a bowling alley, a pool, a golf course in the backyard, a pond.
That type of house.
Swedish massage experts.
Now you need Patrick Mahomes' house.
Dancing poles in the basement and people to dance on the poles. All the things that come with a nice house.
Go-go dancers come with a nice house these days?
In some parts of New Jersey, they do. Yeah, that's exactly
fascinating.
right. But look, he's going to be a chief.
Yeah.
Here's the part of it that I don't get. What I don't get is, why not show up and then invent an injury? I can't practice. My hammy's killing me. That kind of thing. And not donate $50,000 a day to an NFL charity.
Because they already know. Wouldn't that just be a horrible look if you just showed up the next day and all of a sudden, oh, my hammy's hurt? Come on. What would you do that for?
It happens all the time. Jerome Bettis famously did it before he won the Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He did it because he thought he was going to get cut. But just do it. Show up. Like, they can't make you practice. You know, I'm pulling Aaron Judge. My big toe's killing me, coach. Can't play today. That kind of thing. Like that.
The only thing that I could think of is when you do show up, you kind of give up your position, your stance of this is how firm I am with I'm not coming here until we get this deal done.
Yeah.
When you show up, it's like you give up a little bit of that leverage that you may possibly have if you're Chris Jones, knowing how important and how valuable you are. If you remove yourself in totality, you allow your agent, your representation to deal with it. But being in-house, they're in your ear, your teammates are in your ear, you kind of feel a little pull at the heartstrings, and it's like, man, I should go out, I should get out there. You don't want that if that's your client, if you're representing a guy like Chris Jones.
I would tell you what, I would be on the phone with my agents 5 times a day. I would be such a pain in their rear end because it's not costing them $50,000 a day. It's costing me $50,000 a day. And I'll tell you something else. Well, I know that veterans hate training camp, and I get it. I know why. It's a pain in the butts. They know how to play football. They're going to be ready to go. The reality is that sitting at home by yourself, even if you're with your family, knowing that all your boys and your guys are out there, having lunch together, hanging out together, playing ball together, that's a disconnect. That's real.
No.
Yes.
Come on.
Very, very,
No.
very real.
It's not very real.
It's not a disconnect.
Maybe
when
you didn't have any friends.
It's not a disconnect when you have the type of relationship that Chris Jones has with the guys in the locker room.
Every player I've ever met in my lifetime, when they retire, I've asked them the question, what do you miss the most?
Ask me.
And every one of you people
Ask me.
have said to me, the camaraderie with the guys, hanging with the guys,
It's true.
being with the guys. He's not with the guy now.
Ask
Okay,
me.
Greg Jennings, what's the number one thing you missed when you retired from playing NFL football?
The camaraderie with the guys.
See? Told you.
No.
Here,
You thought I was going to go the opposite way.
Ask me.
What's the number one thing you miss, Cody?
The money. The money was very good. Money is good things.
You told me you never made more than $500 a year playing
I
baseball.
still wanted that $500.
Cody spent 3 seasons sleeping in a car.
You bet your ass I did. Honda Element, baby,
All right,
2005.
from Kansas City back to the New York Jets, and not just because Hard Knocks premiered last night, but we learned a little something about how Robert Saleh feels about the brain power, the acumen, the football knowledge of Aaron Rodgers. Here's the head coach.
Offensive coordinator. That's great. They've earned it. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, this dude's been in the league 19 years. He's played quarterback for 19 years. You're telling me he doesn't know more than 75% of coaches in football? And so, of course, I'm going to ask him. And then there's things that he does and says. I'm like, And the way he looks at things from a defensive perspective, when he looks at defense, and that's all teachable. It's like I'm talking to another coach. Like I'm going to go to that 30-year-old and ask his opinion. Why the hell wouldn't I ask a 39-year-old who has bullets being shot at him?
Right.
It's funny, that's a bad interview because the follow-up's got to be there. Does he know more than you? Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I would have asked him. Like, he knows more than 75% of the head coaches in the NFL.
Are you in that 75%?
Are you one of those 75%? He probably would have said yes because he's self-deprecating, Robert Saleh, and he hasn't had a winning season yet as a head coach. This will be his first one, and it'll come along with the Super Bowl championship, of course.
Amazing.
But what he's saying is also, like, there are some coaches who feel like because they're the coach and you're the player, they know better.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you've experienced that. What Robert's saying, which is very important, I think, not just to their relationship, but to his coaching career is Aaron has seen things and sees things from a perspective that I could never see them from, right? I'd be an idiot not to tap into that.
Of course. He's absolutely spot on when he talks about Aaron Rodgers has been playing quarterback for 19 years, 15 years a starter, and at a high level, may I add. And so the way that he sees it from an on-the-field perspective, in-game perspective, he's seen it all. So how can I benefit? Well, if he's slicing up my defenses, which he's played against the 49ers when Robert Saleh was the defensive coordinator. He's had success and he's had struggles. What were those struggles and why did they come about? What did you see that we did well? And what was it that you were able to pick apart? Everyone can learn from that. When you posture yourself as someone that can still learn and be educated and informed, you leave room for growth.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers privately and quietly went to Robert Saleh and said, Coach, I've heard that Crow Eagle speech before. Come up with something new.
I don't think
or
you
something
really
on your own.
Say it. I mean, his body language is like.
Dude, are we really doing this? You're really going with this one?
If you missed it, Robert Saleh on Hard Knocks yesterday told the story about how he went to bed last night, had a dream about the Jets, and it made him remember the story about how the crow is the only bird that will attack an eagle. And I've seen video. They'll sit on the eagle's back and they'll peck the eagle's neck. Yeah. And as the cliche story goes, the eagle flies high, the crow can't breathe, the crow flies, falls to the ground dead, and that's what we should do to all of our detractors. Except he didn't dream it, and he didn't come up with it. It's on fearlessmotivation.com.
It's good motivation.
And I saw it on a rock in Sky Mall many years ago. You can do it.
Yeah.
So why are you doing this to your
He's
coach?
your boy.
What am I doing?
Your guy.
He's your golf partner.
Because I made a promise to the audience I would never lie to them.
Really?
And I've got to live up to that promise. I love Robert Saleh. I love the Jets. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. But if we're going to steal other people's quotes, we've got to take ownership of that.
Didn't you think he did a good job of communicating what he had to say, though?
I think he's a really great communicator.
Yeah.
I think you could appreciate this more than I could. You're in front of alpha males, right? Like tigers and lions in the jungle kind of thing. And those guys can spot a bad leader like that. So I think one of the hardest things for a coach is not the coaching part, not the sideline stuff or the stuff during games. It's getting in front of 53 guys who will bite your head off, who are type A, warriors, and commanding their respect verbally. That is a tougher thing than most people could ever understand.
It truly is, and so that's one of his strengths. And another one of his strengths is being appreciative in praising the guys that he has on his roster. He's always been that energetic guy. So when you see him in this Hard Knocks and he's like, man, did you see that throw? God, I love that guy. I love that kid. When the linebacker gets the interception. Like, this has always been who he's been. And it's a part of who he is as a coach. He pours into his guys. He instills that confidence and belief from a coaching perspective. But he also postures himself as a coach that wants to understand how I can put you in a better position to where you can be more successful.
He happens to just be a good guy.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. And you spent the same afternoon I spent with him. He's just a good guy. There's even a point yesterday in the show where he's acknowledging that Zach Wilson worked out a little bit. Like, he's got some bicep definition. And it was a great moment where they're trying to get Zach to lower the sleeves of his jersey and stop showing off his guns. And Zach goes, well, the guy I'm playing behind doesn't have any arms. I might as well show mine. So there's a pretty good camaraderie that's already being built up on those sidelines. Speaking of camaraderie, my guy is in town, Mr. Brandon Jacobs. He won not one, but two Super Bowls.
Take that, Greg
Meaning he's got twice as many as everybody else here right now. He joins the show next, and we'll get his take on the running back situation and much more.
Hey, college football fans, Joel Klatt here. We are bringing you the best college football analysis every week. Any questions? Then send them into the Joel Klatt Show mailbag. Follow the Joel Klatt Show on the Fox Sports app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Play some sound with some video. Go ahead.
For the Giants, 2nd and goal. Jacobs is the tailback. Jacobs gets it and scores. Touchdown, Giants.
Short ball.
And Jacobs fires the football into the play.
Boy, yeah, all right. And Mr. Brandon Jacobs, two-time Super Bowl champ.
Yeah.
Why were you so angry, Brandon Jacobs?
I hate the Cowboys. I can't. I don't know, man. I just wanted to just be able to show how much hate I have for them.
Yeah.
In my heart, I'm doing that.
I respect that.
Me just standing there, that wasn't enough.
No.
You know.
Here's the best part about that video, by the way. After you drill the ball into the play clock, you ask for it back.
Give me the ball back. The ball is at home. Got the circles on it. From the play. I probably could sell that ball for a lot.
Yeah, don't. Look, one more time. So this is the playoff game, right, against Dallas. There's now watch this at the end now. Wait a minute. Oh wait, that's an important ball. Give me that ball back.
And it's an important play clock. Your quarterback need that. If you busted a couple light bulbs, y'all might have had a couple delay of games.
That was the game-winning touchdown.
That was the wrap. Brandon, of course, is one of the all-time great running backs in New York Giants history. Leads the franchise-wise in touchdowns, which is crazy. Year one, Tiki Barber is number 2, if I have that right. You also beat this guy's team in the famous 2007 run to the Super Bowl. And it's very cold, Greg was telling me that day, but not too cold for the Giants to kick your ass. That's right.
I didn't bring this up.
I know you did.
All right, you have had. This is the kick. Was to win it. Was that Lawrence Tynes, if I'm not mistaken? And that sent the New York Giants off to the Super Bowl. And the skittish quarterback, Eli Manning, who nobody believed in, even your GM, Jerry Reese, called him skittish. And then you and a young man named Ahmad Bradshaw in Orchard Park, New York, against the Buffalo Bills said, we got this, we'll take care of business, and the rest is history.
Right, coming into the 2007 season, we had no idea what to expect. We started off on to, a lot of teams, like quite frankly, like the year before, I think we were 11-5. My first 2 years with the Giants, we had a really good record.
Yep.
And in 2007, it just started off rough, man. It was
0-2 and down big to Washington.
Yep.
Goal line stand to win it.
Yep, goal line stand to win it. I was hurt that game. And I watched that game from home.
Really?
Absolutely.
And now you guys have given up 80 points in the first 2 weeks, and if you lose that game, it's a wrap.
And one of those first 2 games was Green Bay.
Got it.
They put 38 points on us.
And to speak to that, like the Giants, from our perspective, and probably everybody across the NFL, like if you can get them early in the season, that's when you wanted them. Later in the season, it had been their MO to be more physical, just a tougher team, and they get hot. And that's exactly
what happened.
But the fact that you guys choked a home playoff game away is your problem, not our problem. Let's move on, Greg. You won a Super Bowl. Relax. It's all good. You've had a lot to say lately, Brandon. I've been following you on social media about today's NFL. So let me just start you with the obvious. Saquon Barkley, of course, has to come in, not so much tail between the legs, but has to settle for the franchise tag, $10.1 million. You played running back for the New York Giants. Saquon is the biggest piece of that offense. Your thoughts on how the Giants handle that situation?
Well, I mean, great organization. I do think Saquon Barkley, he should have got a multi-year deal, regardless of when last year, maybe when free agent came in this year. Because without Saquon Barkley, the Giants aren't as good, aren't as talked about, any of that. So, I mean, I can sit here and say that, like honestly, like without Saquon Barkley, I don't think Daniel Jones is as effective.
No doubt. And they're not a playoff team last year, and he ain't getting $82 million guaranteed over the next 2 years. Because without Saquon Barkley, that might be a 5-win team, right? At best, that's a 5-win team. But overall, he's got no choice. You ain't going to sit out. We learned from Le'Veon Bell that don't work. And you're going to get $10 million. The problem is that they're just going to franchise him again if he has another great year. And that's a weird spot for running backs to be in. But go ahead.
I think after the uproar this year with Saquon Barkley, I don't think the Giants will franchise him again next year. I think they'll really test him. I think they'll really test the market for another guy, which that's a generational talent that Saquon has. There is no other guys out there like him, and I think they're going to miss out on having Saquon Barkley after this season.
Now, what I love is when you were texting me last night about how much you love the New York Jets now, and with Aaron Rodgers there, as you were saying to me privately last night, you think the Jets are the number one choice to win the Super Bowl. I know, and that's not normal for you because you're not a Jet guy, but if you want to elaborate on what you were telling me last night, for the audience, I'm okay with you sharing our conversation. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to elaborate. on that. Okay. The New York Jets is going to be the New York Jets. And who have the New York Jets been?
We don't want that.
We
don't want that. We don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, you made one change on your team.
It's a pretty big change.
He's 41 years old.
He can play quarterback. Zach Wilson can't play quarterback.
He's 41 years old.
Okay.
He's 41 years old.
Did you see him throw the ball to them Nets last night? Like it was nothing. Dude, he's different. You know he's different.
He had a time and point last year in the season where I thought he was cooked and done.
He had a broken thumb. What do you want him to do? Throw lefty? Come on, Brandon.
A broken thumb. This is the only finger matter when throwing the football. This one right here. This one.
Just for the record, that's a big index finger. My Lord. But go ahead.
The Jets, they got Sauce, and I think Sauce, like he's young, he's phenomenal.
Legit
he's done everything. Yeah, no question.
Yep.
They got Wilson at wide receiver,
no
who's
question.
really good.
Stud.
But that's it. That is it. They're going to need more than that. Who?
Alan Lazard. On defense, we got Mosley. We got Reed. We got Quinnen Williams. You hate the Jets.
I do.
You're a Jet hater.
I do. I hate the Jets.
Why do you hate the Jets? They did nothing to you.
You're right. They did nothing to me. They just been the little brothers in the city who always thought that they were, relevant.
Yes.
And this is why I deal with the type of stuff I deal with, like with the Jets.
Yeah.
You're getting worked up and everything.
You think you're something.
That's
this is our city. This is always.
Yeah, tell them.
It's never going to change. Yeah. Right now, it's never, ever going to change, people. This is the New York Giants city.
It changed.
That's it.
It's only changed twice in my lifetime. Rex Ryan Jets. You were here.
We won a Super Bowl that year.
Rex Ryan Jets. You can't knock them. The Rex Ryan Jets back-to-back AFC Championship games. You're in the corner crying. I wish I could play for Rex Ryan. I remember the conversations we had. Tom Coughlin's too tough. I wish Rex was my coach. Things have changed, haven't they?
No, I love Coach Coughlin.
No, you don't.
I love Coach Coughlin.
You love him now?
No, I've always loved Coach Coughlin. Coach Coughlin has played a major part in shaping me into a man that I am.
Really?
No, there's no question about it.
So let me stop you for 1 second, if I may, because it's going to lead me to the Eric Bieniemy stuff. And I don't want to put words in your mouth to explain it, but because he was a tough love guy, you needed that as a younger man, or because he did something else?
I needed that type.
You did.
I needed that type of love from someone. And me growing up, I never really had, I had a father figure in my Uncle Phil, right? but I didn't have my father in my life.
Got
right?
it.
So me coming up through like all the coaches that I played for through college and everything else, they've been tough guys. They've been tough, old-fashioned, hard hat, lunch pail guys that live and raise their family off of structure. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like Coach Carton was all about structure. We needed structure. You know, you don't walk into a meeting late and then you got a coach up there talking. You're playing with your chip bag. You got your sunflower seeds. You interrupting the meeting. Come sit in the meeting 3 or 4 minutes before the meeting starts and get your stuff ready for your meeting. And then when people get up, start talking and talk about plays and so on and so forth, you're not interrupting the
So
group.
did he teach you how to be a professional?
Yeah,
Is that fair to say? All right, so when you hear people in Washington, as the story came out yesterday, players on the Commandos going to Ron Rivera complaining that Eric Bieniemy's too tough on them, how do you react to that?
I just think that's just a loser's mentality. And that's the only way I can say it. A loser's mentality. He's coming in. He wants structure. He's been a part of Super Bowl teams in Kansas City. He's been a major part of it. Like people always ask, who is it? Patrick Mahomes, Eric Bieniemy, or Andy Reid? It doesn't matter. He was a major part of those teams that won the Super Bowl. He was a major part of it. So are you going to sit back as being a part of a losing career so far you've had?
Right.
To paying attention and following this guy who's been to the promised land more than one time and won.
Like, I'm not a big culture guy. I think it's an overused term. I think if you're a good team, the culture's good. If you're a bad team, the culture is bad. But I think you make a good point. Bieniemy, whether he was the leader of it or not, comes from winning. And if you inject that into a team that's done nothing but lose for a long time, the first guy that complains about it is the first guy I cut. That's how I would handle it.
So I have a question, because you talk about Tom Coughlin and how he impacted your life, but how much of that do you equate to having that type of coach and it actually working because you guys won? Because I think a lot of those parallels are drawn with that, with winning as well. If you can coach that way and you win, and you've proven that it works from a head coach perspective, then okay, we accept it. But were there times where you felt like, man, Coach Coughlin, it's too much of a heavy hand. Or was there nurturing at the same time and in the same breath, or when needed?
It was definitely nurturing when needed. He created a leadership committee for our team. I was a part of it.
Saved his job in doing it, too.
He did that to say, okay, I am making the decisions for this team. Things seem not to have been going well for this team because of the decisions I am making. You guys aren't happy. So I'm going to communicate with you on what I want, and let's find a medium. And you get together with the team, and let's figure something out that way. And once he did that, everything was great.
Yeah, like you can't, in my experience, and obviously I covered the Giants when Brandon was there, you can't just be a browbeater all the time.
No, you cannot.
And especially that particular team, Coughlin was losing the team, and he was on his way out too, as Brandon can tell you obviously better than I can. And it wasn't until he went to you guys, and it was Michael Strahan and a couple other guys on the squad, I imagine you were probably part of it as well, where he re-earned the respect of the guys in the locker room. Because remember, guys at first were like, I'm 5 minutes early, but I just got fined. Right? It was that kind of military nonsense, and guys just don't like it. I'm sure there's a point when you may even rebelled against it until you bought into what he was teaching, right?
I've never broken a rule. I've never broken one rule from Coach Coughlin. I've always been there, and I've never gotten fined for not being somewhere on time.
Why were you so misunderstood by the media? Everyone was thought, boy, Brandon Jacobs, he's a cantankerous, mean guy who doesn't like following the rules, and stay away from him. Yeah, a lot of that was your reputation.
It was a lot of people, because I didn't like the media either. Like at the point, because a lot of times the media, the way they ask you questions and you answer the question, but you don't answer the question the way they want you to answer the question, and they ask you the same question in a different format.
Like they have a narrative they want you to fill.
You're not smarter than me. Why do you think you're smarter than me? I just answered that question. Not doing it again. People didn't, and they didn't like that.
Yeah, I never did that, by the way.
Really?
I know. I wouldn't air every day, but I never did it. We would have gotten along great in the locker room.
Why don't you ask me your next question? Why were you so mean to the media?
Yeah.
No. I created stuff against the media when I saw what Michael Strahan did one day. And he was like, had his shirt, he had a towel on, he was chewing on like a bagel, and somebody had said something to him. He got up with that bagel, like towel wrapped around, wide up, just going off. I'm like, this dude is talking to the media like that, and people got cameras out in here. He's doing, and he did it and then he ended up doing an interview. He was chewing on the bagel or whatever it was. He was talking about how people didn't believe, how people didn't do this. I'm like, you know what? That ain't bad. You got to insert your dominance with these people. If you don't, they're going to take advantage of you.
Please insert your dominance on Craig right now.
No, he's retired. You've been working out a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
What are you benching these days, huh?
I'm not benching much, man. My bench is way down.
Yeah.
My son is going through this recruiting process.
You have a high school age son, yeah?
Yeah, so I got to stay working out, man. The Joker is 6'7", 320, man.
Excuse me? What happened?
Yeah.
Your son's 6'7"?
Yeah.
Oh, my. 320? Can he take his old man yet or no?
Well, he's proven he can block me a few times. doing like the one-on-one pass rush stuff.
Yeah.
He's pretty good, man.
Have you? What's the drill called? The Oklahoma drill, right?
He's not ready for that. He's just a kid, man. He's 16, so he's
6'7".
Yeah.
So he's being recruited by top schools, I imagine.
He's being recruited by everybody.
Yeah. What's he play? What
Left
position?
tackle.
He's a left tackle. Look out. Left tackles make a lot of money.
They do.
And they don't get hurt that much neither.
They don't.
That's smart, man.
He said he wanted to get drafted. He wanted to play for the Giants. And I just told him, I'm like, dude, they're not walking around offering former players kids because most of you guys are soft.
Right.
Like most of the former players, because they didn't have to work for anything.
Because they grow up with wealth.
They grow up with wealth. They don't have to work for anything.
Yep.
But my kids aren't like that. My kids they pretty. The guy, he has a job and everything. So. Yeah, I salute him, man. The 16-year-old
It's
kid.
funny. My buddy Bart Scott said he's raising suburban white kids right now.
That's pretty much what it is, man.
That's what he said. That's what he said. You grow up differently, right?
Yeah.
Whether your mom and dad are there or not there, or financial circumstances, the kids of athletes who are successful grow up, and it's good for them, but they grow up in a better environment with, they have things, right?
I heard this saying one time, and I tell it to my kids all the time. My dreams become their entitlements. Like what I've dreamt.
Was that on a rock too? Because Robert Saleh might steal that.
I don't know if it's on the rock, but I put the disclaimer. I heard that, and it's not mine. But our dreams, because we had to work to establish this position of influence and of wealth financially, and then you have kids, and naturally you want to provide them all these great things. And they turn out a little bit more entitled than what you would hope. But
so I got to ask you the question. In all your years playing football, college, obviously, and in the NFL, did a coach ever give you the Crow and Eagle speech that we heard Robert Saleh give the guys last night? Are you aware of that?
Man, that Crow and Eagle speech is so old, man. It's so old. It's not anything new.
He said, I had a dream last night. Yeah. The only bird that attacks an eagle's the crow. There had to be dudes in the locker room going, I heard this one before, right?
Yeah. It was interesting the way you laid it down, but I mean, it's pretty old.
It is an old speech. All right, remember to Robert Saleh. We need new speeches. You want to hang out another segment?
Sure.
You don't have to go back home. You're good to hang out?
Let's hang. Let's do it.
You miss New York City? I don't know how often you get into the city.
No. I'm not trying to rush out, though.
It's all right. Brand's going to hang another segment. We got the latest on the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott throwing 1, 2, 3 more interceptions yesterday. We'll get into it right after this on FS1. Cody.
Welcome back to the Carton Show on FS1, the most jacked show on television. And Craig Carton is also here.
What?
That's right. Headline number 1. Dak throws 3 interceptions yesterday, 2 of which bolted digs within 10 minutes of each other. Craig, is this going to be a massive problem all season long?
I mean, I like this one the best because, after Trayvon called him a bitch last week, now he Deion's him on the way back after the interception in practice. Listen, and this is that was just brutal. This is an open practice. There's fans of these practices now, and if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, I know exactly what they're saying because we would say it in New York if it were Eli or now with Aaron Rodgers, we're in trouble because this is every day now. And as you were saying, Greg, this ain't like, hey, dude just made a great play, but it ain't on the quarterback. He made a good throw. You got to give the safety credit, the cornerback credit, right? Yeah. These are just bad throws, and it's every single day. And it's no surprise that Jerry Jones came out yesterday and said, boy, that Cooper Rush is looking pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
These interceptions become more and more frustrating when you look at why and how they're happening. Like the last interception to Van Der Esch, when he's dropping back and he's staring down the wide receiver, those are mistakes that rookie quarterbacks make. Once you have established yourself as a guy in this league and you've won a starting position, the expectations are not to do this. You can't just stare down something in practice like that and expect for a defender not to intercept.
But here's the question, like, what does that do to the other guys on the squad when you see your quarterback every day making such bad throws and decisions?
Well, we've seen that last week, what it does to other guys on the roster when you're making bad decisions like that, right? Ever in any of my time, and 8-5 might be able to go ahead and agree with me. Not ever one time in my career has anybody called the franchise quarterback a B word.
Right. Thank you.
One time.
So we brought this up, like we're talking about Trayvon Diggs, after he, you got you in a box, and then he referred to him, he said, shut your BS up. Right? And I said on the show last week ago, that's a problem. Yeah. Because that's your franchise quarterback, right?
That is your franchise quarterback. And not that he's, this guy that you can't, we joke with Eli all the time, but there's never no time where Antonio Pierce or anybody from the defense have said something like that to Eli. And I think for me, as being a guy who's part of a team, that shows there's not much respect there from the teammates.
Yep. Yeah, and even like the high stepping on a return, that's fine. That's guys showing out. Yeah. No one's got a problem with that. But there is a fundamental issue when you are calling your starting quarterback the B word, and you're on camera, and everybody sees it and hears it. And I know we try to walk it back the next day. It's out there, and it's a lack of respect.
Well, people know, because I was talking about this on Twitter, and everybody, it's the heat of the moment. They're out there competing. Everybody competes.
Right.
People compete in practice, but that stuff just don't happen. And why Dak is throwing these terrible picks in practice when the practice are scripted? You know exactly when you get the script in your right, wrong. No,
you're right.
Yeah, when you get the script in your hand that morning on plays, they got the play that you're running, the coverage sitting right there what they're going to be in.
Really?
So this is true. What I will say in watching that, they're going against their ones. So that is the only time when the defense is not scripted. So now he's getting a little bit of a different look. You know the plays that you're going to run all practice long, like you just alluded to. I'm glad you said it. The entire practice is scripted. But when you're playing against your defense, which is now the strength of the Dallas Cowboys, they're not going to script these looks. So now you got to actually play. And these are this is why I believe Mike McCarthy and all the coaches are doing this. Because I want to see good on good. You're not going to be able to know what the defense is doing. There's going to be plays that are scripted that we call in the huddle that you're going to have to go out there and now make it work. Right. You can't just automatically think, this is going to be open.
So it's really even worse than we think it is.
Yeah, because it really is. Because, usually like during the season, they practice the scripted, but you got the practice squad guys out there. Okay. And they're not as talented as a Diggs. They're it's just not. So they have these same things, but now the defense is out here really playing.
Yeah, right.
They're out here really playing. Now the coverage is what the defense said. It's sitting right on the paper, but they're not just giving you these half looks to where they might drop to the deep third, but they go to the half instead, doing something that they're not supposed to do. Right. Everything's going to be right. But he knows, come on, man, this is practice. Like you see this stuff right here.
You know what just happened in Dallas? Oh, man! And you love it because you hate the Dallas Cowboys. They can't lose enough for Brandon Jacobs. That's right.
I just wish we can get a win on them at some point.
The Giants have had some success against Dallas in the last decade. It's been good. And you got those 2 trophies in your living room. You're all good. Don't be greedy now. They haven't won a Super Bowl in 25 years, and they're not winning one this year, according to Brandon Jacobs.
The Jets either.
Why'd you have to go with me on the Jets?
I don't know. Just because that's your team.
You are gonna. I tell you what, you're gonna love the Jets when they're making a run. You're gonna come back here. You're gonna have a Jet hat on, Jet scarf, Jet hot chocolate. You're gonna be all
Everything,
Jets.
right?
That's right. Listen, you may move out of Jersey, but they never take the jersey out of you. You still got some Jersey blood flowing through there.
I'm a little mean.
That's right. There you go. What else you got, Coach?
Headline number 2, Brock Purdy.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Just breaking news. If you missed it 30 seconds ago, Brandon Jacobs said the Cowboys are done. Okay, great. Go ahead.
Headline 2, Brock Purdy named 49ers first-string QB in the first unofficial depth chart of the preseason. Second-string QBs listed as Trey Lance and Sam Darnold. Is the competition for the 49ers QB spot already
finished?
But
it's been over for weeks. We've been talking about it for weeks on this show. That's the dude. Like, you go 7-0 before that NFC Championship game. He can make every throw again. The arm's fine. Sam Darnold's a journeyman quarterback. Trey Lance has been hurt too much, obviously, and guys inside the organization have come to realize maybe he ain't the guy they thought he was going to be when they gave up all those draft picks to get him. But it's simple. You guys know this. When you have a guy that hasn't lost, that's the guy that's going to play. It ain't difficult.
Absolutely. And I've been saying this. Everybody want to call us a quarterback competition and all this other stuff. Well, Brock Purdy won the quarterback competition last
Not even close.
Year. It wasn't even close. San Francisco has never played with so much swag, so much confidence ever in years now since they've had a guy like Purdy there. I mean, and if you ask me, I think Trey Lance is, he's a backup guy. He's a backup guy, and I think that he needs to find a team where he can be on, where he can back up, like the Giants maybe can take him.
Yeah, or you take a team that's got an older veteran, use the Jets as an example. If you told me the Jets went out because Zach Wilson can't play and used a guy like him to be a young backup who may get into a couple games based on circumstance, that kind of team makes sense. Not there because Purdy's younger than Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. I mean, and the injuries, it just keep happening and just stuff.
Toughest game you ever played was against San Francisco, too. Playoffs, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
That was a physical game.
Even though we don't like to talk about it publicly, but Ahmad Bradshaw fumbled. San Francisco recovered it. Bad call by the refs. Whew, close one, right? Yeah. In any event, what else you got, Cody?
Headline number 3. Eric Bieniemy defends his coaching style, specifically after Ron Rivera's comments the other day about the players coming after him. Here is Eric Bieniemy defending himself right now.
They also know when I'm getting on them, ain't nothing personal. What's personal is that I want us to win. I expect that particular player to be great at all times. I expect the effort to be a standard that's accepted by all of us. So it's my job and my responsibility to make sure that I'm getting our guys to do what I expect them to do.
The smile's the best part at the end. Listen, we all have to take some ownership. We're raising soft kids. That's what we're doing. They're just, the generation of kids is soft compared to the generation before our generation, and that's real. But these are NFL players. It's supposed to be a different breed of human being that makes it to the NFL in a lot of ways, not just physically, but in a lot of ways. And the fact that these guys, and maybe this is ultimately what they needed. Maybe this is the turnaround moment for the Washington franchise, that you've got a hard-ass coach who's not going to tolerate you being soft or not, following the rules or paying attention to the dotting of I's and crossing of T's. So I loved everything I just heard. And if I'm a fan of Washington, I side with Bieniemy, not the guys that are running to head coach Rivera complaining about it.
Those guys are losers. That's the only way you can put it. That's the only way you can put it. This guy has come from a proven background of winning. I'm talking about not just winning football games,
right?
Super Bowls. Again, like I said earlier, regardless of how much he had to do with it, but he sat in the room and put his input in on that particular game plan.
Yep.
Right. So that means a lot in the National Football League. So there's just, I just think it's more losers mentality of what they're dealing with.
And again, it's at some point the story will come out who the players were. I'm assuming it ain't Howell, the new quarterback, because that would be a real problem there. But here's a franchise that got rid of the bad owner, and they kind of have this one. It's like a gap year, right? Oh, Daddy, I'm going to go to Europe for the year, and then I'm going to take life seriously. This right now is the gap year for Washington. New owner comes in, can't really put his fingerprints yet on what the franchise is ultimately going to be. So everyone's under a test right now. I'm going to judge everybody based on this year. Well, I like what Eric Bieniemy's done to start off.
Yeah, I like what he's doing. I don't know if you can sustain this type of coaching without taking the players that you are coaching into consideration and being mindful of, like, as a parent. Like, I have 4 kids. You have kids. Like, I can't parent them all the same way. Like, it just makes no sense when they have different personalities, and I know what button to push to get them to respond accordingly. That's what coaching is about. Understanding what is necessary and what it takes. All of what you said, I agree. The whole losing, I feel like that's the giant in you, and you being in that division, and it's like, oh, these guys are losers anyway. But for me, looking at it, the point that you're making about him being in a system and within the organization that understands how to win and what it takes, he was a part of that. He has a role in whatever it was. He was a part of all of that. Bringing that to a organization that has not experienced that, yes, you need that, but you also need to understand I can't just be one way. There's more than one way to do any and everything, and he has to understand
the
that.
weird thing about seeing Bieniemy at that press conference, and I loved every part of it, is that I watched the documentary on quarterbacks, that came out a couple weeks ago, and he doesn't say a word on the sideline of that documentary, where it's all Matt Nagy, it's all Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
He's not even acknowledged.
And I'm saying to myself, maybe that's why Bieniemy wasn't getting head coaching jobs, because the word around the league is he don't do nothing on the sideline of games. And then you see that and you're like, that's my guy. I want more of that with my franchise. And then you go to a guy like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill tweeted his support for Eric Bieniemy. Right there saying, man, there's no other coach that has your back like EB. Take that coaching and get better. We all been through it. It's tough, but I promise it'll make you better. That's what you're alluding to with Coach Coughlin. Like, there are guys like that in the moment, maybe your ego won't let you acknowledge what he's doing for you. And for some guys, I always remember this with Allen Iverson and Larry Brown. They butted heads for years. And it wasn't until Larry left the Sixers that AI realized, you know what? I appreciate what he tried to do for me. I needed that. And I know I'm comparing 2 different sports, but that's what Tyreek Hill's talking about. In the moment, your ego may not let you hear it, but you need to hear it.
Well, it's kind of funny you say that from Tyreek Hill. He makes the comment he makes on Twitter, and then you get Shady McCoy comes out and say something totally different about Eric.
Right.
Bieniemy,
He said he talks to guys sideways.
Right. Doesn't do anything, doesn't say anything. He's just there. He's a puppet, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, different players are going to have different reactions to different coaches, because, like you say, I guess treat everybody different. And I guess the way Bieniemy handled Shady was the way he didn't like it.
Now, to be fair, Shady was there for 1 season, right? Or part of a season, right?
Whatever it was, he wasn't on board with what it was he was doing. So.
Yeah, he might have wanted more playing time. Who knows? I guess we could ask him later this afternoon. You have anything else there, Coach?
That's it for our mid-show headline.
There is something going on with Odell Beckham. Is that what you're telling me? Or you want me to tease that there's something going on? Is Brandon staying or leaving? What do we do with Brandon Jacobs? Not just going to break and not saying goodbye. You got a few more minutes?
I'm here. I'm not going
You're
anywhere.
here.
Hey, let's go. You guys can't kick me off the show if you wanted to, so I'm here.
No, don't challenge me now. Like, I know. Okay.
Yeah. Challenge him. I'll wrestle right now.
Challenge is over now. Yeah, you can stay.
I guess I got to go. All right. Good luck, guys. See you tomorrow. More Brandon Jacobs right after this. Good to have Brandon Jacobs here. He once struck out in a slow pitch softball game. More on that later. But it's time right now for something we like to call Handsome Craig, living on the corner of First and Football. A.J. Brown loves Jalen Hurts. Oh, yeah. Everybody loves Jalen Hurts. A.J. made a point of saying a little something about the future for Jalen Hurts. Listen to this.
I don't want to put a ceiling on him, and I don't know what it's going to look like. But I know what I can say, that he comes to work. He's one of the hardest workers in the building. I think everyone knows that. He is just focused on being consistent as ever. He's leading his team, and of course, I would love to see him take another step, because we all take another step.
Yeah, listen, they went to a Super Bowl last year. He was an MVP candidate till he hurt his shoulder, had 35 touchdowns. But here's what amazes me. You would think when you get to the NFL level, the work ethic is paramount to everybody, but it's not. But every time you hear guys talk about Jalen Hurts, it starts with the same thing. His work ethic. First guy in, last guy out. And I bring that up only because that means there are guys who have crazy talent who don't have the work ethic. And you guys obviously have played with guys like that. where you respect the guy's a great athlete, but you might not respect the work he puts in. This kid at 4 years old, from day one, has proven he's all in, 24/7, 365, focused on being the best football player he can be.
Jalen Hurts has been through, talking about a guy who's got it out the mud, right? Talking about a guy who was benched in college, a guy had to transfer to a totally different school to be able to get on the field and showcase his talent. You know, the guy gets drafted to the Eagles, sits, you know, his rookie year kind of around learning, and then the second year comes, he kind of takes off. So this guy has a ceiling that no one even knows how high it really is. Great quarterback, great leader. You know, the guy, it just sucks that he's in Philly.
Yes.
Sucks that he's in Philly.
Yep, another town you hate.
But you know, just to talk about Jalen Hurts, man, the guy is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, he definitely would have my vote on MVP.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where there's no flash. He's not a guy. No. He's not out there. You know, look at me. And again, it comes down to the same thing. He's a quiet leader, but he's a leader.
Yeah, and he embraces the adversity. What you're talking about, you don't often see great players that just totally embrace the circumstances that they're dealt. Like I can't control it. What I can control is me. That's what he's always doing, and that's why this team will remain on top, because their leader always is going to have his head down, looking to improve what he can do and can control what he can control.
To be fair, they also have a very good team built around
of course.
him. With Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Lane Johnson. They got a great line. They've got a solid running attack. They are very well coached. They got talent. Like, he's not a great quarterback on a bad team. He's a great quarterback on a really good team in a lousy city.
Lousy city. But give me a good quarterback on a bad team.
A good quarterback on a bad team. That's a good question. I got to think about that for a second. Good quarterback, bad team. Derek Carr on the Raiders last year. Good quarterback, bad team.
Oh, well, if we're just saying good quarterback, yes, he is a good quarterback.
Yeah. I gave it some thought. Good quarterback, bad team. Matthew Stafford got hurt last year with the neck and whatnot. But yeah, Derek Carr is a good example. I'll just stop there.
I'll take
Question
that.
answered. Second, and by the way, what city do you hate more, Dallas or Philly?
Dallas.
Really?
Absolutely.
Were they meaner to you in Dallas?
No, they weren't mean enough in Dallas.
They weren't.
No, Philly is mean. I like going to Philly and playing, man.
You did.
I like those fans in Philadelphia. There's no question about it. I love going to Philadelphia and competing against the Eagles.
And kicking their asses.
They make it really, really, really entertaining when you're not in the game.
Got it. Because you can hear them.
Yeah. You're always entertaining Philly. So shout out to the Eagles fans, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all do, and I love y'all, man.
All right, let me go to second and football right now. Listen, OBJ's a Raven. He's talked about his maturity, about teaching a young kid like Zay Flowers, and now Lamar Jackson spoke about just how good Odell Beckham is.
No, he's not. You know, he's really cool. You know, he's just playing football. He having fun. You know, he's had time off. You know, he was injured and stuff, rehabbing, and man, he's that guy.
Dude, if he's even close to what we've seen in the past, understanding 2 torn ACLs now, you're talking about a guy who, when he was healthy a couple years ago, was still among the best wide receivers in the game.
When Odell Beckham got drafted into the National Football League for the New York Giants, I remember sitting having a conversation with him about structure, stuff like that. You know, he came in, he was one of the first guys to come in with the dancing and just this new age player. He just had a real problem with being able to let loose and kind of do what he wanted to do. And I told him, I said, man, you playing ball in New York, man. You got to live it up, love it for the moment that you're here.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it and try to take everything out of it. You know, and him and I kept in contact, you know, for a long time after that. And just watching him go through what he went through over the last 3 years on his way to a MVP Super Bowl.
Yep.
When he got hurt, just him being out that year and coming back and rehab, and he's bigger now, looks stronger. I'm really excited to see.
I think you also get to a place. I don't want to speak for Odell, obviously, but maybe you've had these conversations where, when football's taken away from you at a young age, as it was for him, not once but twice due to torn ACLs, I think you come back with a different mindset because you appreciate it more. When you're a 22-year-old rock star in New York City making that catch against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, your life changes. It's hard not to get caught up in that when you're 22 years old and every kid on every playground in America is trying to mimic your catch, right? And you've changed the way the sport is played for wide receivers, the way Steph Curry did for jump shooters in the NBA. But I think you come back more mature. I think you could be even better.
Yeah, I think the thing that I'm seeing and hearing out of OBJ, and more importantly seeing, is that he doesn't have to be the guy, and he recognizes that because of the stage of where he is in his career. Can he still get it done? Of course, he believes that. But more importantly, how can I better help the guys around me to where we actually have a chance to do something special? With Lamar Jackson at quarterback and these young receivers that don't have a tremendous amount of experience, he has the most experience outside of Mark Andrews at the tight end position. So he knows what he's bringing to the table is of great importance. Can he be that? And if anybody expects him to just go out there and be a 1,200-yard receiver right up, I think that's a little unrealistic.
No,
I don't think
he has not a 1,000-yard year.
Yeah, I don't think that. I'm not saying that he can't get it done, but to have that be the expectation of why they brought him in, I think that's missing the mark. I don't think
there are stories out there that Brandon Jacobs is the guy that told Odell that he should propose to the kicking net on the sideline of that Monday night game. I don't know if you want to answer those.
That was interesting. That was definitely interesting. The boy had a whole bunch of different sellers. That boy, he's creative, man.
Yeah. And a better soccer player than football player, as the story goes. Dude's just a freak athlete. All right, third in football. Since Brandon's here, let's give him some more Dallas stuff, since he hates the Dallas Cowboys so much. Micah Parsons, who might very well be the best defensive player in all of the NFL, talked about his goals for 2023. Let's hear what the me guy had to say.
I got to tell all my homies, I was like, man, if there was a day to hit Sportsbook, hit that thing today. Unanimous, baby. And I'm not saying that for like...
Defensive Player of the Year, you said?
Yes, everything. Everything. Defensive Player of the Year. Like, pros, like, Super Bowl. The whole nine, like Mahomes.
Like Mahomes. Yeah, except he doesn't have Mahomes playing quarterback for him. He's got an interception machine playing quarterback right now. I love arrogance and cockiness. You have to have it to be good at what you guys do. Defensive Player of the Year, on the table. Super Bowl? Probably not.
I will vote Parsons as any MVP, any Defensive Player of the Year today, tomorrow, yesterday, the day before, this month, next month, whatever have you. But in no way, shape, or form, the Dallas Cowboys will win a Super Bowl. But I got you, though.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I just want to make clear about that. You support Defensive Player of the Year, maybe even League MVP. But just to reiterate, there's no chance
they will win a Super Bowl.
Got it. So if you're in Dallas, that's Brandon Jacobs.
But I'm definitely a Parsons fan. I am a fan.
Hard not to be.
Hard not to be. The guy's a monster, but the Dallas Cowboys will not win the Super Bowl.
I don't know if you heard the other day he came out and said that he's better than Lawrence Taylor because Lawrence Taylor couldn't tackle Saquon Barkley. I made the point. He also never did, what Lawrence Taylor did.
I respect Parsons, no question, but man, Lawrence Taylor is the absolute GOAT.
Yes, like I said, snort 5 lines of coke, show up 5 hours late for a game, and still have 9 sacks and get back to them.
All of these players that's been throughout the NFL through all of these years, people still says that Lawrence Taylor is the best football player that ever played.
He changed the game.
Yeah.
He did.
Like, there are very few men or women in their respective sports that you can say definitively changed the way something is played. Lawrence Taylor is that dude. And you could separate, the mistakes he made in life and the bad decisions from him as a football player. As a football player, there was nobody ever better, since.
In Micah Parsons' defense.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not at all saying he's better and all the things.
Don't make him flex again.
If he keeps going on this trajectory that he's headed on, he's changing how you pass rush and what you look for.
Because according to him, he's a positionless player, right?
He can do anything. He can cover anyone on the field. You don't have guys like that you just say, we can find him anywhere.
What's funny about it? He's special. He's been special since he walked on the field. But this, listen, it's not like we don't live in Dallas, obviously. this is the most verbal he's been going into a year in his young career.
Yeah, and I honestly, I enjoy it. I like it because, to be honest, like Dak throwing interceptions is going to help him be defensive player of the year. Why? Look, let's be real. He's going to have so many more opportunities to be on the field. Look, man, you're going to have to get after the quarterback because Dak is going to put the ball into the defense.
He'll be ready 2 downs later, right?
How great would it be if at his acceptance speech he goes, and I want to thank Dak Prescott for keeping me on the field so much. Good point. Look at you. That's the reality. Sometimes, Craig. That's good. And fourth in football, we go to Cincinnati, where offensive tackle Orlando Brown talked about Joe Burrow. Although Joe Burrow still not back from that calf injury yet. What did Orlando Brown have to say?
Quarterbacks I played with have budged, but he's got just such a strong confidence in his game, his ability to articulate, his ability to know the system, get us in the right play. Like, I mean, this guy's got the keys to the car, the house, the whole situation. He's different in a lot of different ways.
Listen, I think he's preaching to the choir. Everybody feels that way about Joe Burrow. You know, he's the only guy that's had the success against Mahomes that he's had in his career. You just hope that he's healthy from a Cincinnati standpoint. But what's your thoughts on Burrow?
I love Joe Burrow. You know, super talented. Just these injuries, man. When I heard he went down with the calf strain, I was like, man, this guy just can't get a break. You know, you got 1 year where you get hurt, and you come back, goes to the Super Bowl, and he comes back again and have a decent season. Now he's coming back to where now he's hurt again and out for possibly 8 weeks, 9 weeks or something.
Yeah, they're not sure. They haven't really been open about it. But it sucks because he's the best quarterback that franchise has had. And they've obviously had some good ones in Boomer Esiason and Kenny Anderson and Carson Palmer. And now you've got a franchise quarterback who's had more playoff success than all those guys combined. But he gets carted off the field, had the appendix taken out, had the torn ACLs rookie year. And the whole franchise is based on him.
Yeah, and he's kind of a throwback quarterback now. Mm-hmm. Like, he's a rare breed where the pocket passer is not really a prevalent thing in the National Football League, and that is who he is. That's why we compare him to Tom Brady, to the likes of Tom Brady at least. But when you look at him, like, this is something we listen to Jamar Chase talking about, don't come back until week 5 or what have you. Joe Burrow has to understand, I'm going to be great, but in order for us to win, I have to be healthy. That is the only chance this team has, especially in the division that they're in. You have to be healthy. You have to be smart. And getting a guy like Orlando Brown to protect his backside,
and by the way,
makes sense.
Orlando Brown, you talking about a guy born under a lucky sun.
What?
The last 2 years he plays with Mahomes, and now he's playing with Joe Burrow. Like, what? Smart man.
Hey,
smart man.
Yeah.
And very good at what he does, too.
He's solid. That's a solid offensive lineman. Right?
Now, they're telling me we got to let you go. Now, I just want to be clear. I'm not making that decision.
I think I got the same thing in my ear.
If you want to yell one of those guys, feel free to yell one of those guys. They're upstairs. You can find a guy named Alex.
It's okay if you want your seat back.
He's saying, no, I like to stand. He's like, he just said to me, it's time to street Brandon Jacobs. I go, you tell Brandon Jacobs.
I ain't saying my ear. I don't think I heard that.
I heard a story that after the 2007-8 Super Bowl that you tried to moonwalk at the after party, and it did not go very well.
I almost tore my ACL trying to do that.
Really? How?
It was a party, Cody.
But how do you almost tell your ACL moonwalk?
Do you know how to moonwalk?
Okay,
I can't moonwalk.
Okay, so imagine winning the Super Bowl in New York, right?
Okay.
You're probably not going to be sober for months.
No.
For sure not.
So with that being said, they had a lot of that partake.
Were you like on a bar or something?
Woo! I had some sandals, I think. It was just like, it didn't go well.
You could have did that like 4 weeks or 3 weeks prior to that before you played us in the NFC Championship.
You know what's funny, Brandon? When
I didn't hear it. I almost hit.
When you guys won the Super Bowl, you guys went down the Canyon of Heroes. Over 1 million people showed up to pay tribute to the great season the Giants had. When they won the Super Bowl, 5,000 people at Lambeau Field.
Stop.
Embarrassing. Terrible fans.
Oh, wow.
No, not true at all.
But you know what you can say? The Jets will never ever parade.
That's right.
Listen, you're coming back. You're coming back throughout this season. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
It's good
Fair
seeing
enough.
you. I'm glad you're doing well. Best to your family. Thank you for coming.
Yep.
The great Brandon Jacobs, 2-time Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants. What's coming up next? A little NFL camping. A little NFL camping.
Going
It's
camping?
Wednesday, so we have a little segment we like to call
What the Wednesday?
coming up right after this. Hang tight. All right, a little NFL camping for everybody. It's me and my boys just hanging out in the tent, telling old ghost stories and making s'mores. Let me start you off in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, who was just talking about OBJ, finds Odell Beckham. That's just a thing of beauty right there. Little wobbly at the end, good coverage, but OBJ comes down with it. You're going to see a lot of that this year. That's about a 50-yard connection, and that is a completion to Odell Beckham Jr. From Baltimore, we go camping in San Francisco. Christian McCaffrey, show me some moves. Whoop. A little Barry Sanders there, maybe, without the spin.
Oh.
A little Barry Sanders, maybe. Maybe not.
I don't know if
but that's
anybody's
Christian
Barry.
McCaffrey. Let's go now to Texans rookie. Quarterback C.J. Stroud, I think he's the best of the first-year quarterbacks. Finding John Mechie on the sideline one more time. C.J. And there you go. Nice pass and rhythm right there.
Not bad.
From there we go to the quarterback with the worst arm in football, Tua Tagovailoa,
Look at that
down
spiral,
in Miami.
Not wobbly there.
Let's take a look at it again. Nice.
You sure that's
throw.
not AR8 throwing that ball?
Nice throw. Good camera work to Raheem Mostert. Touchdown, Miami. But that ain't a long ball. That's a little 30-yard pass. Every quarterback's got that in the arsenal. But that one was in the basket.
It was
in the basket.
That's where you
puts
want
the lotion in the basket. That's what it does. And that's a little camping team to team in the NFL. Brandon flexed on me. I didn't like that one bit.
All
right, now it's Wednesday. Everybody's favorite Wednesday morning program. A little something we like to call
What the Wednesday?
All right, let's start in Dallas. Dak Prescott at yesterday's practice throws an interception right here to Trayvon Diggs. This is what we call interception numero uno. Then the next time they gave the ball to Dak Prescott, he said, what interception? I can do better than that. I'm going to throw another interception also to Trayvon Diggs, who leads the league now in interceptions. Good thing he plays against Dak. And then that wasn't enough. He threw a third interception, and it would have been to Trayvon. But Van Der Esch steps in front and gets the pick in his own end zone. Hey, Dak Prescott!
What the?
Yeah, Dak, man, you got to do better, man. Again, team on team, ones on ones. You're going against your one's defense. They're going to give you looks that you're familiar with. You can't stare down your receivers. That's like quarterback one-on-one, Dak. What are we doing? Look at this throw. We saw this last year. And then we see the article that comes out talking about timing, footwork, and the receivers and the quarterback being on the same page and having to understand route depth, integrity, and all the things. This is them missing like Amari Cooper. I'm sorry.
This is an amateur quarterback is what this is. This ain't $100 million guy.
Ever since Amari Cooper has made his departure, Dak Prescott's game has left.
Regressed.
That's a ton. Yes. A ton. And I know I say it and I harp on it all the time, but great wide receivers make quarterbacks so much better.
Sure, of course
great
they do.
quarterbacks make wide receivers better. Dak has to be better in order for this team, with this roster configuration, to give this team a better chance to win a Super Bowl.
Is this something you want to say to Dak Prescott?
Yeah, Dak Prescott.
What the?
There you go. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go to Atlanta. Atlanta had the 8th overall pick in this past spring's draft, and at number 8 they took stud running back Bijan Robinson. Right? He's got $30 million coming his way, guaranteed. He's a rock star. The video all looks great that we've seen thus far. Making cuts. As a receiver, obviously he's an all-world running back. And the Atlanta Falcons put out their depth chart yesterday, and Bijan Robinson is listed as their 3rd running back, behind Patterson, Algier, and ahead of Carlos Washington. You picked him 8th overall. You gave him $30 million guaranteed, and he looks like he's the real deal. It makes me say, Atlanta.
What the?
Yeah, I don't understand this.
Is that tough love?
I don't know what this is, but from everything that we're seeing coming out of Atlanta Falcons training camp, this is your guy. This is your starter.
He's the only chance you got.
Like, he's catching the ball like a receiver, plucking it out the air. He's running routes, got the footwork down. Like, get that man in the game and get him the ball as early as
He ain't the third string cover.
Atlanta!
What the?
All right, let's go to baseball, Cody Decker. Julio Rodriguez is a center fielder.
For the Mariners.
For the
Seattle Mariners.
For the Seattle Mariners.
Yes.
There you go, in case you didn't know their team. Watch this. Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
Bye-bye baseball. But Rodriguez gives it a good shot here, Cody. There you go.
Oh, he was so close.
Oh, so close.
So close.
Tatis goes into the home run trot. That is a big time. Wait a minute.
Oh! Sorry about it.
What?
Sit down, Tatis.
Wakanda forever. He made the catch. One more time. Goes up and makes the catch, but doesn't show it off. There's Tatis home run trotting right now. He's like, home run, home run, home run. Oh, man.
Yeah, I love it.
But again, if I'm the pitcher, I'm pissed. Like, why are you doing that to me?
Well, I can tell you what Fernando Tatis Jr. said. He said Julio Rodriguez.
What the?
Yeah. By the way, can you show it one more time?
Yes, please.
Because the first time you see it, you don't make the catch.
Yeah.
I don't think he makes the catch. Yeah, thank you. Just one more time. Deep fly ball to center. Rodriguez back at the track, at the wall, leaps. Did he catch it? Did he catch it? Did he catch it? Yes, he did.
By the way, that was Fernando Tatis Jr., who is back from a steroid suspension.
Yeah.
I'll say it. 2 years ago, that's a home run.
Yeah, if he was doing steroids, right? Yeah. That's why all baseball players should do steroids.
That's a home run 2 years ago.
Yeah, listen, I encourage my athletes to do steroids. End your lives early by giving me a championship. I support it. Wow. But that's just me as a fan speaking, not as a journalist.
Who cares if you get walk when you're 50? What? I support my championship now.
Be very clear. A little side note, if I may, just go over to tangent here. You're on this planet to entertain us.
Okay.
That's what you guys do. You are brilliant entertainers, right?
Yeah.
I don't care, other than the fact that I know you now, if you die when you're 60, it doesn't change my life at all. Woo. I think you should do steroids if it makes you a better ball player. It gives my team a chance to win championships.
Okay.
I'll mourn your death because I'm not a bad guy.
No, you won't.
You definitely won't. You're going to celebrate and tap dance on my grave.
I don't care if you die if you're 60.
I don't care
anything.
But I'll say a prayer for you. I'll light a candle at St. Jude's or something.
I thought you just said this was all about entertainment, right?
All I'm saying,
then why are you so for Ohtani and Judge getting walked if it's all about entertainment?
I think they should do steroids. Hit more home runs.
Okay.
Like what? Tell me what fan was out there going, yeah, I know we won the World Series and that's great, but half my team was on steroids. That sucks. No one's ever said that.
That is true.
We celebrate winning. We don't care how you win. We just want you to win.
I really didn't think I could become more disappointed than you, Craig.
See, I did know this, and I know it's not going to get
Shot
worse.
to my heart.
You have a son playing college ball.
I do. And I don't want my son doing steroids.
Well, it's because you actually like him. He's not there for your entertainment.
If fans of the Grinnell Pioneers
stop it. Don't even.
We're like, boy, I wish that linebacker did steroids. I understand it.
So bad.
Let's go Grinnell.
So bad.
There you go.
Unreal.
All right, let me go. This one's going to be a tough one for me to be a good boy here. TCU, they play Michigan on Fox next week.
Yeah.
They got a dude. That doesn't even do it justice. Just show the still photo.
What is
the only thing we need to see.
What is happening?
TCU's got an offensive lineman named Breon Ramsey Brooks. He is a freshman at TCU. These are his high school.
Oh my good lord.
That is
Oh,
we
what's
are
up?
big guys.
Yeah.
That is literally like 2 human beings.
That's Muppet.
He is 6'5". He is 455 pounds.
2 human beings.
And all I'm saying is this: can we get him a shirt that fits?
No, that's four. That is 4 normal-sized people in a trench coat, Craig.
Hey, uniform guy at TCU.
What the?
Yeah. Can't you get the big fella big shirt, or at least a garbage bag or something?
I think he's number 55.
He doesn't have a number.
Can't tell.
But yo, that dude's a freshman.
It's a monster.
Now I'm not sure where he is on the depth chart and all that, and I know they do play Michigan to open up September 2nd on Fox. But that dude's got to be a starter, right?
Manhandle that guy?
Listen, here's what I know. That dude, you ain't getting past that dude.
Look,
you ain't going through him.
Look, they will be so predictable. They're running behind that. There's no way you don't. There's no way you don't run behind that.
In fact, make him a fullback.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Like, what are we?
Fourth and goal from the 1. Here comes Ramsey Brooks.
Who's going to stop him? Who's ever going to stop him?
By the way, they play Colorado September 2nd, not Michigan. My bet on that, they play
Jerome
Colorado.
Bettis is the bus. What is he?
I don't know. He's everything.
He's everything.
Yeah, he's the whole depot. But I would just say, Ramsey Brooks, just fall forward. Just ain't nobody gonna stop you getting a yard.
Tell your center to get out of the way.
Yeah. Can I just see that photograph one more time? I feel bad for the young man.
Why?
It's hard going through like 455 pounds.
Probably, yeah.
Right? That ain't healthy.
He does look a little congested in the whole uniform. Yeah. I'm just saying.
But here's the thing. Dude's big. Don't embarrass the kid. Custom make a jersey for the kid.
They should make him a better jersey.
It might take a couple weeks, but oh my God, we ran out of fabric again. Eventually, you'll get him a jersey that'll fit. I hope that kid has a great season. But again, uniform maker at TCU.
What the?
There you go. All right, they're telling me we're going to hockey. There's no hockey going on right now, and nobody cares about hockey. Oh, ridiculous spinning goal? We like to see hockey. Show me a hockey goal I've never seen before. All right. Whoop, beep, whoop, whoa.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've seen people try that.
I got to see that in slow motion. That don't count unless we see it in slow motion. Let's see it in slow motion.
Oh, even a better angle.
Spinorama.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is nasty.
Yeah.
You cannot defend that.
I mean, to be fair, it's like a men's league. Who cares?
That's awesome.
Okay, fine. Hey, hockey guy.
What the?
There you go. He's just showing off for the Hooters girls. That's all he's doing right there.
Better have taken one home.
A non-sports issue that just came out. I just read in the newspaper today that Zoom is mandating Zoom
yes.
is mandating that its employees return to work. Doesn't that counter? Isn't that?
Yeah, it's exactly the opposite.
Aren't you there so we don't have to go to work?
Yeah.
Like, hey, Zoom. Like,
what the?
What are you doing?
You have one job.
And last one for you, and it's an interesting video. Very attractive gal enjoying the fresh air as she leans out of a train. You guys can show this real quick. La 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 la. That's her, right?
Very whimsical.
There's going to be a telephone poll that comes up shortly. The question is, does she? No. Does she get knocked off the train by the pole?
There's no way.
Or does she realize the pole's coming at the last second and get her head safely back on the train?
Well, there's a reason we're showing it, so I have an idea.
Yeah. Okay. Let it play, boys. Mm-hmm. Oh! How do you not? Ooh! Slow motion, slow motion, slow motion. Here comes the pole. Oh!
How do you? What are you doing?
One more time, back and forth. I like that. Good job. I mean,
my goodness.
You are talking literal millimeters. Like the amount of difference between the goal against U.S. and not being a goal. That's the difference between her being a headless corpse and getting married, having children, and living the rest of her life. Like, what are you doing? Hey, hot blonde.
What the?
There you go.
Stop messing with trains.
Yeah.
Why do people? Trains don't stop. Why do people mess with them?
And if you go back in time, like 50 years ago, that happened in New York City, and the headline of the Daily News of the New York Post was "Headless Woman Topless Bar." Yeah,
it's a good headline.
That was the headline. Anyway, that's just going back in time a little bit. Coming up, First in Football. All the NFL stories you can't live without, starting with the rough and tumble AFC North right after this. Don't go anywhere. We got Cody Decker, we got Greg Jennings, and that handsome guy lives on the corner of First and Football. That handsome guy is still the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings, and Vikings owner, I thought his name was Ziggy. They're telling me his name is Mark.
It
Anyhow,
is Ziggy and Mark.
What?
They're brothers.
Siamese twins?
No, they're not.
Ziggy, I thought Ziggy Wilf owned the Minnesota Vikings.
They're two different individuals.
Yeah?
But they are brothers.
Got it. Well, one of them spoke about Kirk Cousins. Let's hear what Mark Wilf had to say.
We'll leave that to Kwesi and Coach to work through those discussions. There's always conversations on that, but our real focus is 100% on 2023 and getting where we need to be and where I know we can be.
Well, so that's asked because Kirk is going into the last year of his contract. Yes. And the question is, are we going to sign Kirk Cousins to an extension? And the answer is no. We're not. Which is basically been Kirk Cousins' career in the NFL. One year at a time kind of deal. Dude's a winning quarterback. He got the division title last year. He's been to the playoffs twice. You know, he obviously has not had the postseason success or the primetime success, that owners want. And I'm with the Wilfs on this. He's our quarterback right now. We do like him a lot. We're not even saying there's something better coming down the road. But right now, our focus is on this year. And I think if you're honest about it, that's an acceptable answer.
It is. I mean, this is the life that Kirk Cousins had to live his entire NFL career, and he has thrived.
By the way, he's made a boat ton of money.
Absolutely. Yeah. This has been his key to financial success.
Which is why I was so bothered, if I may just for a second. Mm-hmm. The dude's driving a minivan home after losing the playoff game to the New York Giants, right?
$200 million.
Dude, you made $200 million. You can afford to buy a Subaru. You ain't got to walk around driving around in a minivan. Why are you driving yourself anyway? You should have a driver.
Subaru?
Yeah.
If you have $200 million,
I would drive. If I had $200 million, I'd be driving a Subaru.
It's a very good car, but get a Lexus.
What's the matter with the van?
He don't have 7 kids. He's got 2 kids.
And it's not a minivan. It's legitimately
whatever
it
is.
Van.
Here's the deal. Don't lose to the Giants at home in the playoffs. And guess what? You'd have a multi-year extension right now. But you lost to Daniel Jones.
Top 10.
Not even a top 10 quarterback. Right, Greg?
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. You've already crossed one guy off.
I will say this. Sometimes when you participate in a documentary, there's positive kind of waves that come off it. Sometimes they're negative, right? I think the best thing Kirk Cousins did was open himself up to the world and showing people a glimpse of what his life is like. The worst thing he did was admit that every Tuesday he doesn't talk, think, or worry about football. It's a full 24 hours away from the sport. That bothers people.
It does it, though, because everything that he did was kind of like football related. Like, he might not talk about it, but he was still doing like head stimulation. He was doing all these things that still allows him to be a better football player. Look, I like Kirk Cousins, but if you're the Minnesota Vikings, I think you can live with not having him under a contract right now because he's your quarterback if you deem that to be the case. There is no one that they can bring in right now or next year for my money that is better than Kirk Cousins at this stage in his career.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins is a valuable quarterback still. He may not be top 10. You could argue he's close, 10, 11, 12, whatever the numbers is kind of irrelevant anyway. These lists that we put out are silly sometimes. But he's a very good quarterback. He's a credible quarterback. And he's a guy that can take a team to the playoffs.
Yeah. You mentioned that the Vikings are comfortable. Clearly, Kirk Cousins is comfortable with it because he does it every single year.
Yeah, by the way, it's also, once you've made $200 million,
it doesn't matter.
You're pretty comfortable with everything you do.
He drives
all right. From that, we go to Dan Campbell talking about Jared Goff. He's not in Greg's top 10 either. Someone's got to be in that top 10. Maybe Goff gets in one day, but here's Campbell on his maligned quarterback. Go ahead.
I think we have a lot better handle and feel of who he is here than a lot of people do, on the outside. We have a lot because we get to see it every day. And so if you're asking me personally, no, I don't think he gets enough. But at the same token, there's a lot going on right now about us and him, and it's pretty positive. So, but no, I'm there. I'm going to say it again. I'm glad he's ours. I think he's doing a good job. I think he's right on pace. And
look, he gave the Detroit Lions fan base hope last year. They made this great run where they almost made it to the playoffs. He threw 15 touchdowns, not a single interception over the final 9 games, which is an amazing number. You'd probably like even more touchdowns, to be honest, but not a single turnover as far as interceptions go in a 2-month span. That's significant. That's winning football. Plus, he's also engaged to Christian Harper, so that ain't bad either.
Not bad.
So the guy takes care of business on the field and off the field. And how do you not love a guy like that, Greg?
Yeah, he's a very competent quarterback, and last year he was a very, very good quarterback that got it done for the Detroit Lions. Look, they expect even more out of him this year because of the type of season that they were able to have last year. But for me, when you listen to Dan Campbell, he challenged him going into last season. He told him he needed him to be better. He needed to take more ownership, and he answered the bell. And that's what you want. He's in a situation where he believes and he's comfortable. Why? Because his coach believes in him. The team around him believes in him. It's not about the play caller or the head coach like it was when he was with the Rams. Yep. He's getting the credit that he deserves. It's just he's not flashy.
And just think about this for a second. When we talk about mediocrity or teams that are in droughts, and until you hear it, you wouldn't think of it. Obviously, you guys in Detroit know this. They haven't won a playoff game.
Yeah.
And it's almost impossible. It defies all statistical laws that this planet is based on. They have not won a playoff game in 32 years. It's almost impossible for that to have happened, and yet they're living it right now. From there, we go to third in football. Darren Waller, who might be the comeback player of the year as he joins the New York Giants, talked about how great it is just to be healthy. Here's Darren Waller.
So, yeah, just continue to go. Like I was telling some of the coaches, I don't think I've gone through just a full training camp of just being out there with the guys without one, like a turf toe or a diving for a catch and spraining my AC joint. Like just being out here for a full training camp throughout the whole process, it's been fun, and it feels good to feel fresh and just get out and just be able to run every day and do everything you're asked to do.
I'll tell you what, if he stays healthy, and to be fair, he has never stayed healthy, that will go down as one of the great steals and trades in NFL history, and obviously for the New York Giants to acquire a guy that, by all accounts, jumps off the field with his ability.
Yeah, he's a game changer. When you look at defenses trying to game plan against a talent like that at the tight end position, that you can flank out and play out wide and have a safety or a linebacker covering him, he's a mismatch every time you draw up a play. You got to have a guy like that.
They've literally taken him off the field so Jones will throw the ball to somebody else.
That's how impactful he is.
It also means the Giants' defense stinks, and they can't cover him, right?
And no one can cover him.
Dude's open every play.
Him healthy, he's not being covered by anyone across the National Football League.
There you go. All right, and one more. It's funny. Every time on this show, I keep talking about how deep the AFC North is and how tough the division is. You guys all mock me. Well, Nick Chubb just said the AFC North, it's gonna be a bloodbath. I don't know if he said it like that, but he said it. We all have great quarterbacks. It's always a challenge playing anyone in the division because they have stout defenses, and we're all right.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. You've got 4 legitimate quarterbacks. Pickett's probably the worst of the 4, to be honest, and he had a good rookie season. You've got great defenses. You've got talent at wide receiver. You've got running backs who are top echelon backs. This is great football.
It really is, man. And playing in this league and always seeing the AFC North, they've always been looked at as one of the most physical divisions in all of football. When you look at the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's just a brand in that division. I don't expect anything different going into this season.
I expect this to be different, though. There's not going to be a dominant team. the way there has been. Cincinnati's owned it. Baltimore obviously owned it for a while. And now I think if you told me that they all just beat each other up and they're all 1-1 against each other, I wouldn't be shocked by that. And what's crazy is that the Steelers, who ended last year 9-8, so another year not under 500, they're probably on paper the worst of the four.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And no one's ever going to count them out because Mike Tomlin's such a good coach.
With the least amount of experience at the quarterback position, but again, you just said their X factor is their head coach. Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a Hall of Fame head coach, at least for my money. Coming up, we got your late show headlines, and that includes major trouble now down in Dallas as Dak Prescott has done it again.
You mean your top 10 quarterback?
And again.
One of your top 10 quarterbacks?
And again.
One of your top 10 quarterbacks?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't put that on any list yesterday. Don't believe everything you read on Twitter. It ain't all accurate.
Welcome back to the Carton Show on FS1. Time for your late show headlines. And headline number one, Dak Prescott throws 3 interceptions on Tuesday as his training camp struggles continue. He threw 2 to Diggs within 10 minutes of each other. So will Dak throw less than last year's 15 interceptions?
He's already thrown more than August.
It's preseason. It's not even preseason yet.
What troubles me, listen, you throw an interception in a scrimmage or practice, who cares? It's a problem because it's every day, and it's the reason behind the interception, as Greg, I think, has done a great job articulating this morning, which is staring dudes down. Like, everyone's going to underthrow a receiver at some point. You can throw that away in the summertime. It happens. Even, I don't know, Aaron Rodgers might do that once. Like, it might happen once, right? But when I'm staring a dude down and then I throw it to him into double coverage, and the defense has to make a decision. Okay, guys, before we decide what to do, who wants the interception on this play? Right? And they vote on it, and they give it to a linebacker. And that's what happened on that play right there.
Yeah.
That's a problem because that's a rookie mistake. That ain't a veteran mistake and a guy that you think is going to lead your team to the promised land. That's a guy that you now, when you're a coach, goes and you sit down and all the players go home and the coaches get together, and they do this every night, as you can attest to, and they go, let's look at every player. And they grade him on every practice. And when they get to Dak, what are they going to say?
Yeah. The reason why this third interception, the one that you're
the one in the end zone,
showing, because when you turn on the film, the coach is going to ask you, okay, what are you looking at? What are your eyes telling you pre-snap? And Dak, as a veteran quarterback, a quarterback who's had some success in this league, what can you answer and respond with? Because you're looking in the direction of where you want to throw the ball pre-snap. So Van Der Esch is there. You have a route underneath and out. So you have a defender there. If that happens, you're off of that. That is no longer a read. Your eyes should take you somewhere else. That's why this is a problem. I don't care how much Jerry Jones and their staff wants to downplay it. That right there is a problem. We saw it last season. It hurt them, and we're seeing it again in
And I'm not sure how much they're really downplaying it anymore, because Jerry Jones, in an interview with the newspaper yesterday, and it's starting to go viral now, didn't say anything about Dak, but typical Jerry Jones, why I love him, was talking about how great Cooper Rush has looked. They signed him to a 2-year, $5 million deal because he showed out last year in the 5 games he got to play. They were 4-1. They averaged 27 points a game. Their offense was put up 350 a game. In those 5 games, they ran the ball more, to be fair, more ball control offense. But he's pumping up the backup because Jerry Jones is watching what we're watching. And Jerry Jones watched that interception, and he's saying to himself, what the heck is that? Like, that's a $100 million quarterback right there. Now, if you play it again, guys, if you still have it queued up to play, the guy that Van Der Esch is supposed to be guarding there is going to be way out to your right. That dude's wide open. Now, I know you're going to the end zone, blah, 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 but he stares down one guy. His running back's wide open in the flat there. He's going to get positive yards, maybe score a touchdown, and you force it in. We're no joke. If Vander Knuckle doesn't make the interception there, Trayvon Diggs is getting another one. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
And there comes a point, where you can't excuse it or downplay it. The story of Dallas Cowboy training camp, there are two of them. Mm-hmm. It's the emergence of Micah Parsons' mouth, and it's Dak Prescott's bad play.
Yeah.
Those are the two storylines coming out of Dallas. One makes sense. Mike is the best defensive player in football, and he's happy to let you know. The other one is a real problem for the Cowboys. What else you got, Cody?
Headline number 2. It looks like Brock Purdy's officially been named first-string QB in the first unofficial depth chart of the preseason. Second-string QBs listed as Trey Lance and Sam Darnold.
Why do they do this? This makes no sense. I mean, look, Brock Purdy's the starting quarterback of the Niners. Trey Lance is the emergency quarterback. Period. Stop. I don't know why we announced depth charts in August. It's stupid.
Well, because it's a big deal that Trey Lance is being knocked further and further down the depth chart.
Yeah, but like
not anymore. I mean, we know.
But behind Sam Darnold?
The dude won 7 consecutive games. Of course he's the starter.
They traded away picks for him 2 years ago.
Make a note to the people upstairs. Stop selling me on Brock Purdy being the starting quarterback as a news story. It's not. He's been the starter since January. That's a note to the producers. Stop bothering me.
I don't know if they're going to be able to read that.
All right, what else you have, Coach?
That is actually it for Late Show Headline.
What? That's it?
That's it.
The whole focus is on the Dallas Cowboys stinking?
And Brock Purdy.
Okay, I can live with that. By the way, the New York Jets did premiere last night on Hard Knocks, and it was something special. Woo! I got to talk to Coach Saleh, though, about stealing other people's stories. We'll get to that. We got much more coming up, including the Kansas City Chiefs have finally heard from Chris Jones. What did he say right after this? Plus, like it or spike it. Still plenty of time left for some more NFL camping. That was a picture of me and my boys back in July, just hanging out in the tent, talking about guy things. That's what we do. And Greg was there too. Oh. Greg brought the marshmallows, but they were calorie-free, so we didn't eat them. We didn't like them. We just ate the Hershey bars instead. Anyhow, let me start off in Miami. That's Tua finally completing a ball more than 10 yards down the field to running back Raheem Mostert.
Look at that tight spiral.
Nice job on that. Of course, Raheem's only got the job because Dalvin Cook hasn't been signed down there yet. So nice to see Tua throwing a spiral.
Yeah.
Okay?
Very nice.
From there, we do a little camping in Dallas. And Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott not throwing an interception, but hitting the net. That is more difficult than you think, because the net opening is barely bigger than a football, Greg.
Yeah, this is impressive. Always when you watch the quarterbacks do this drill, you want to see these guys get it in there. Not often do you see it. Fortunately for me, I was around Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, who
you saw it a lot.
I saw it a lot.
Yeah, good thing for him that Trayvon Diggs was not in the facility, because he probably would have picked that ball off.
I believe that net's actually named Trayvon.
Yeah, it might be. All right, Saquon Barkley. Nice little move out of the backfield, beating the linebacker, which he's going to do all day, every day, but showing the hops and the quickness off the line of scrimmage. Also good to see Daniel Jones throwing the ball to someone not named Waller. And from there we go out to L.A., Justin Herbert. Does anybody throw a better deep ball than this guy? Yeah, Aaron Rodgers does. But outside of that,
10 years ago.
right in the breadbasket to Mike Williams. Pretty good, Gregor.
Yeah, and that team with those talented wide receivers, they can be trouble.
Yeah, but it's time now for the Chargers.
It is time.
Like enough, right? You've got good wide receivers. You've given the quarterback the money.
That's the main
You
thing.
got a new offensive coordinator.
That stadium.
Enough messing around.
Yeah.
It's time that the Chargers, go toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs and win a playoff game, and maybe even more than that. The talent is there. They have not yet really lived up to the promise of having a legitimate stud at quarterback.
Yes, and Justin Herbert is a legitimate stud.
Yeah.
Like I said, you have the weapons to go up against the team like Kansas City.
They can score with anybody.
You can go toe-to-toe with them. It's been typically the coaching. So Brandon Staley, to get out of the team's way and be impactful like Steve Kerr is for the
Don't start with that
Golden State
again. And don't bring up a coach who doesn't coach, all right?
He does coach.
In any event, it's time now for Like It or Spike It. As we end every show, I'm going to start you off with Kansas City and a Chris Jones tweet, if I may. You guys want to put that up there? Chris Jones tweeted yesterday, KC, ... I love you. Like it or spike it.
I like it. I like Kansas City, too. I've been there.
Spike it.
Why spike it?
They already know you love them. Just get paid, man.
I like it. You know why I like it? Because Kansas City Chiefs fans are worried. And that's the player going, I love the fan base. I respect you peeps. I love you people.
Maybe just likes their barbecue.
It's more than just barbecue. They do good barbecue.
Really good.
Yeah, I prefer Carolina barbecue because I like vinegar.
Okay.
But ain't nothing wrong with the Kansas City barbecue.
Oh, it's delicious.
I know you don't eat barbecue, but whatever. It's all good. Huh?
Vinegar on barbecue?
That's called the Carolina barbecue. It's vinegar-based sauce. I'm sorry. I'll explain off the air to you. All right. Baltimore Orioles fans found out who their play-by-play announcer is and how Baltimore's mistreated Kevin Brown. Yeah. So at yesterday's game, they let everybody know how they feel about it. Play it. Free Kevin Brown. Free Kevin Brown. Free Kevin Brown. I wish they had done that for me a few years ago, but they didn't.
You're free now.
Just putting it out there.
If you're free. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Come there to laugh at yourself.
Oh my goodness.
I like it too. Yeah. Okay, enough Kevin Brown stuff. By the way, the Orioles got more trouble. They actually used Kevin Brown to do the radio play-by-play because they suspended the radio guy because he didn't wear an Orioles shirt to do the game.
What's wrong with this?
No joke. No joke.
Oh.
And we'll leave it today.
Orioles.
There's a Lollapalooza. They still do Lollapalooza.
I had
Come
no
on.
idea.
Anyhow, show real quick. Show people having a tough time going down the hill at Lollapalooza. Hold on. Just play it out. We'll see you tomorrow.